Imagine a life you despise, a job you loathe, day in, day out, the same mundane existence. Then, a sudden chance to escape, to chase a lifelong dream. For Jimmy Kelly, a former postman from London, that dream took him halfway across the world to the vibrant, hedonistic shores of Thailand. But what started as a fantasy quickly spiraled into a nightmare, landing him in one of Thailand's most notorious prisons, facing a world he never thought he'd inhabit. This is the story of Jimmy Kelly, and how chasing a dream led him to the seedy underbelly of a foreign land, and ultimately, behind bars. In his late 40s, Jimmy Kelly was living with his parents in Watford, feeling the weight of a life he found utterly unfulfilling. He was a postman, a job he openly admitted to hating. "I absolutely loathed it. I hated the job. I hated everything about it," he recalled. But then, a glimmer of hope, a surprise redundancy payout. This wasn't just a severance. This was his golden ticket. £33,000. Enough, he thought, to finally pursue his lifelong ambition of opening his own bar. He jetted off to the party hotspot of Koh Samui, Thailand, intending to invest every penny in his new business. But the island had a powerful pull. The moment he arrived, Jimmy admits he went into partying mode. "It was the first time I'd felt happy for a really long time," he said. "I felt special, not normal Jimmy the postman." He was swept up in the island's notorious red light district, and much of his initial capital was squandered on endless nights of revelry. Despite the initial indulgence, Jimmy did manage to open his bar, naming it Jimmy Chang's. And to his delight, it became incredibly popular. He was raking in cash, following the advice of a friend, John, who had lived on the island for years. John suggested selling drinks and hiring out loads of girls. It might sound seedy, but for Jimmy, it was validation. He felt proud. He loved his life. But this newfound happiness was built on a precarious foundation. The hedonistic party circuit of Koh Samui was relentless, and Jimmy soon found himself consumed by it. He started taking crystal meth on a regular basis. What began as an escape quickly became a trap, triggering a terrifying downward spiral. The bar was doing well, but Jimmy's lifestyle demanded more. He started as a low-level dealer, selling bits and pieces to support his habit and his increasingly extravagant life. He also began pimping out local prostitutes, a grim side hustle that unbelievably could net him up to £26,000 in just 5 days. The money was intoxicating. "It was only low-key, but I wanted more, and I became a bit greedy," he confessed. In hindsight, it was a terrible idea. His operation escalated. Soon, he was regularly selling 200 grams of crystal meth. This was no longer just bits and pieces. This was a significant amount, and Jimmy, a Westerner operating in a local market, was playing an extremely dangerous game. He was undercutting the established local drug dealers. "I was the only Westerner along the strip," he said, acknowledging the perilous position he was in. His risky gamble eventually caught up to him. Jimmy was ensnared in a dramatic takedown, a classic honey trap operation where a police informer posed as a romantic interest. The suddenness of it must have been terrifying. One moment, he was living a life of excess. The next, he was facing the stark reality of the Thai legal system. He had heard the horror stories about Thai prisons. "I'd read horror stories about Thai prisons, but I never thought in my right mind I'd end up in one," Jimmy admitted. But there he was, walking into a nightmare. He was sent to the notorious Koh Samui district prison. The reality was even worse than he could have imagined. "I couldn't believe what I was walking into," he recalled. "The first time I saw my cell, I couldn't believe the size of it. It was like 20 feet by 20 feet, and there was 30 of us. It was bad enough trying to stand up, let alone lying down to sleep. There was a squat toilet in the corner of the room. It stank as well. The living conditions were horrific, and the daily violence was a constant threat. In one brutal incident, he even lost 3 teeth in a bloody fight between 2 rival gangs. This was a far cry from the carefree party life he had embraced. 2 years into his grueling sentence, a lifeline appeared. The British embassy intervened, arranging for him to serve the remainder of his sentence back home in the UK at Wandsworth Prison in London. A small comfort, perhaps, but a world away from the conditions he had endured in Thailand. Jimmy Kelly was finally released in 2014 after serving a total of 3 years and 4 months behind bars. The experience, though over, left an indelible mark. He deeply regrets his choices in Thailand and, more importantly, the pain he caused his loved ones. "I've paid for it, and it's not just me who's paid for it. It's family," he reflects. "It's selfish what I've done. People have said to me, 'Would you do it again?' Nope." Jimmy Kelly's story is a stark reminder of how quickly a dream can curdle into a nightmare when greed, addiction, and reckless choices take hold. His journey from a mundane life in Watford to the dark depths of a Thai prison serves as a powerful cautionary tale about the allure of easy money and the devastating consequences of chasing a high. It's a story about the true cost of freedom and the enduring regret of choices made in a moment of perceived happiness. What do you think about Jimmy's story? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to hear more incredible true stories like this, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel,